5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, 07 Star Citizens, and welcome back to Answer the Call, your weekly podcast and call-in show with myself and SaltEMike. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. It is been okay for us in terms of Star Citizen stuff, I guess. Still no cargo patch anywhere to be found, but we did finally at least get 323.1a, so there's something. There's something there. How are you doing this week, Mike?
I'm pretty good. And, well, as always, if you guys are unfamiliar, first time at the podcast, Answer the Call podcast is a podcast where we talk about Star Citizen, usually the goings-on of the week. Sometimes we bring on a guest, but the big thing about the show is you guys call in through our Discord, put some messages in through our Discord, and then we kind of give our platform up to you guys. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, the channel's pretty new. Make sure you get subscribed. A lot of you guys watch, but not a lot of you guys are subscribed, so make sure you guys do that. But how I look at everything over this entire week is we got all of the steps that we need to get out of the way to get to the things that I've been waiting. Like, how many times have I said 323 is not for me? I'm just waiting for the cargo stuff. We're getting a lot of those steps out of the way to get to the cargo stuff for me. And that's just how I look at it. I did finish Xenothreat yesterday.
Yep.
It's done. 323.1a came out. It's done. They dealt with the duping issues, allegedly. Like, we'll see. I'm sure there's other things. You know, there's obviously problems with the game.
Yep.
Out of the way. Asmongold talked about Star Citizen. We're in trouble. And Alien Week happened. Again, another, like, ship sales usually get in the way of content. So, that you know, all of these gates, we're starting to pass through their opening, and we're getting to, at least for what I'm interested in, sooner than we were last week. I'm assuming you're pretty interested in it as well, right? I think it's safe
for
to
sure.
assume that.
Yeah, and just quickly before we do get on the topics, this is going to be a speed run episode of the podcast today.
Happy
because
Father's
I believe
Day, Space Dads.
Yeah, it's Father's Day in America, right?
And the UK and somewhere else. So there's
it's not UK. I think it's just
Chat
America.
said UK. It's definitely not
Maybe,
just America, but it's
ours is in like September.
Yeah, you guys had yours or are gonna have yours. I guess technically
is UK. Why is it different?
I don't know. I don't get it. But it's UK and France apparently. So happy Space Dads Day to Americans, French, and English. I
but nowhere else. You're not allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, you can't celebrate. Netherlands too. All right, so yeah, there's a few places, but happy Space Dads Day to you guys. And yeah, so we're getting together with family today, and I was instructed that there was I am to be there at a certain time, and I was like, okay. I love considering I'm not a father. It's like okay, you just accept it. But if I was a father, I'd be like, isn't this my day? I'm confused. Don't I get to make the rules today? But
exactly.
I accept that I don't get to do that, so it's fine. But I don't know. What do you want to chat about first? So basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do our chat in the beginning, how we've been doing it, but quickly, and then get to the callers because we're yappers. We yap for a while in the beginning, and I don't want to say we. I'm pretty bad.
Us.
I'm bad.
It's us because I'll say no, Mike, and then we go on for 30 minutes about something.
True. But I'm bad.
Let's talk about.
I know I have a problem.
let's talk about the patch in Xenothreat first, I guess. That's the one that everyone gets to experience right now. So 323.1a finally released on Friday for me.
I think Friday for me.
And so we can finally do that. Sweet, very excited. Xenothreat came out. I want to talk about my experience with Xenothreat first.
Yeah.
So hopping into Xenothreat on an Australian server, immediately everything was so smooth and working great. What they call phase 2, I don't know why it's called phase 2. It feels like it should be called phase 1, but the actual like cargo moving part of the event. Yeah, why?
So initially when 323.1a first went live, if you were sitting at a station, it
Oh, they do like the warnings.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
start taking over the advertisements at the stations.
Mm.
So that's considered phase 1. It's goofy,
Well, I
but
hate that. Yeah.
I agree with
Anyway,
you. Just so you know, I
yeah.
agree with you.
Anyway, the cargo phase was dope. And everything was working. And I had I think for the first time ever in a Xenothreat event, a good FPS. The entire time that I was doing the event, like the game was actually somewhat smooth, which I
Really?
imagine is a combination of, um, you know, as always, Australian servers, but a bunch of the updates they've been doing to the engine and with not Vulkan, but like DLSS and stuff like that. And so that was great.
By the way, my frame rate
Yeah.
here is whatever happens when we live stream to YouTube and Twitch, and I bring up these videos. So no matter what, there's just some bottleneck going on my computer when we're doing this.
Yeah.
So, but I did have low FPS when we were in ship combat, but not during this phase. This phase was very smooth. It just doesn't look smooth.
Yeah, that's yeah. This phase was really good for me.
Yeah.
I really like the new boxes, the larger boxes that they've had. They just made the experience a lot easier. Although I do feel like they should probably up the rate of like cargo that we need to get. He forgot to do it again.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I think I know why, because I did do it, but I had to press the button twice for some reason today.
It was interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like the cargo phase maybe needs to be a little bit longer now, because if you just have one group of like 5 people, you'll do it yourself in an hour. And I don't know, that just feels a little bit quick for the cargo section. But I liked it. I liked the move of Jericho from Michael 1 to being a part of the Pyro Stanton jump point station was actually kind of smooth, and it worked.
Makes sense.
In my opinion, it makes sense. It's also just logistically a lot easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have your spawn point essentially at Jericho now.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. The combat during that phase felt okay and felt fine. And then we unlocked the second phase. Now, the first time we unlocked the second phase, or the third phase, whatever it is, the time that we unlocked the Idris, we think just disappeared or blew itself up within 5 minutes of the mission starting, because it just finished and we were good and we got our reward and we hadn't even gotten to the location yet. So we stayed there because we were like, this server's working okay. We'll try it again on this server. Went through the cargo section again. Awesome. That worked well. Finally got to the Idris. We could not fight the Idris or any of the ships around the Idris. Everyone was blowing up within a solid 3 to 4 seconds of being within 2k of just the bubble of ships. And there was nothing that we could really do. It is the first time that I've like rage quit a event that I was really enjoying only moments earlier. And apparently, because some of my crew ended up continuing doing it, it took them like another 2 hours before they were able to finish the event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've heard from a couple of different people, because I posted it up on Twitter. Apparently, it may have to do with the Galdarines being like super OP or something on the Idris. I'll have to double check exactly what they said, but there may be some weapons on the Idris that are super OP at the moment. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just really didn't have a fun time, but I'm not discounting it yet, because that's I've essentially only been able to do Xenothreat for 5 hours so far. So I'll give it another shot.
I did it twice within like a 2-hour period, but look at how many people were playing.
Yeah.
Right. I was on a EU or US server or whatever, so it was a lot. It was a lot faster, but a lot of the people on the screen are not NPCs. They're all red. It was a very weird experience. The frame rate, again, was not this bad, but it was relatively close.
For us, it was pretty much this bad when we got into this phase as well. Yeah.
Yep. And like basically what was happening to me when I was doing this, and I'll just kind of leave it there because I imagine it's quite difficult for the viewers to watch. I basically decided that it made more sense to stand still and just watch it. And
Yeah.
like, when is that ever a good thing? You know,
You know?
it's just not. And they've tried to do this thing so many times. And like, what's the definition of insanity? You know what I mean? Like, at some point, just let it fucking go. I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
happy I'm past it. I hope that there's not any unique rewards for it the next time they try to do it. This was always supposed to be a
Mm,
template for something, and now it's become a specific thing that happens all the time.
mhm,
I just am not enjoying it personally. And I can
mhm.
accept that this will not be the type of content that I enjoy. I definitely
Yep.
enjoyed the first phase, like the cargo one, just like
Yeah.
you did. And I didn't even get to do it that much, but I do like the changes of it. The one thing that
Mhm.
I do want to address is I was a little bit confused, and some other people might be as well. When they first talked about Xenothreat, they said a bunch of things like, oh, we completely revamped it. It's totally different, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, all you did was add a couple boxes and change the armor, and the Idris is there. No, there's a lot more to it than that. Also,
Mhm.
there's the idea of, I'm pretty sure freight elevators were supposed to be involved in this, and like your issue with cargo probably would be fixed if freight elevators existed, but they didn't. So they might have had to
My
like,
issue with cargo, I liked the cargo.
no, like, didn't you wanted more, right? Like it was happen like you finished it too quickly.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I reckon the mission should just be longer. Like, yeah, require
Yeah.
more cargo.
Yep, there you go. And I think it would be able
Yeah, yeah.
to if freight elevators were involved. That's what I mean. And
Sure, yeah, yeah.
yep. And the so there's that possibly, right?
Mhm.
And then one of the coolest ways, and apparently the way you get the most reward, is by boarding the Idris and killing the
Yep.
people on the uh in the bridge.
Mhm.
That is completely different. That is super cool, and that's awesome.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep.
hey, let's say the things that we had problems with, but let's not ignore that
Mhm.
some of there was some really cool shit that they did. It just doesn't
Yep.
fucking work. Like, it just
Yeah.
that's the end of it. It just doesn't work in the state of the game today, and it's never going to work. And they need to stop trying to make something work that is never going to work. Well,
It
I don't want to
did
say
it did
never. It will never work until
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do what they need to do to make it, and we all know what that is. We don't need to keep
Yep.
beating the server meshing dead horse. And if it doesn't work, then it's drawing board time, and it's time to go
Yeah.
back to it, right? So
It highlighted like there's a couple of issues as well that people have been having since 323 that it definitely highlighted as well. So like you would have seen in that clip that Mike just showed how
UI,
crazy the UI can be. Yeah.
yeah,
When you've got 20 to 30 ships and you cannot sort through the madness at the moment at all. And it just clutters everything up. So yeah, I think even Duncan came into my stream yesterday and just said, "Holy UI, Batman,"
yeah,
uh,
it's
as we were
crazy.
flying around. So um, yeah, obviously that's a big problem that you are always going to have in these missions. Um,
I don't believe this is the way it
yeah,
should be, but uh,
yeah,
Xenothreat, Siege of Orison, and possibly others,
mhm,
they they make more sense as an instance thing that you do with your org mates or a party.
yeah.
They would just be more fun. Do I believe it
Mhm.
should be that way? Absolutely not. I'm not advocating for that, but just the way they're built now, they are built for
Mhm.
that kind of content, but Star Citizen isn't. So it's just like
Yep.
something's not making sense, and that's one of the things to me that don't entirely make sense. But again, I'm not
Yep.
advocating for that.
Yep.
Dupers?
Yeah. Oh my God, they did it, Mike. So we talked about this last week.
Yeah, I
Mike
didn't think
said,
they would.
Mike said, I want them to do it, and then
Oh,
they did
sorry.
it, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah, a bunch of the people who did the duping exploit from 323, 600 roughly to be like they mentioned, have been banned for 3 months from the PU, which is a couple of things. One, it does feel drastic to me, but it doesn't feel wrong, if that makes sense. I don't know if those are juxtaposing like sentences. Like I don't. We never get to see CIG do bans, mostly because they're either super infrequently and super like private because it's only like one or two people every couple of months or something.
Mhm.
And this is the first time that I feel like, at least since I've played, this is the first time I've seen them do a huge ban wave.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, it's just yeah, it feels crazy. Um, I'm down for it though. If CIG want to start doing this, I'm all for it. Let's mess with these people.
Yeah, I think there's an argument that I am seeing like below this thread and things like that, where
Mhm.
there are some people that feel like it was uncalled for or something like that. There was no real warning. We're in an alpha, and you're banning people in an alpha for breaking the game in an alpha. Aren't we doing you a favor? I think all those arguments are like kind of valid as well. Like it's again, it's kind of hard to argue against those points. Like you kind of
Yeah.
go true, but also these guys kind of fucked up the game. So like what's it going to be? I think the best choice was probably like, hey, there are some exploits in the game. Guys, don't do them, or you're going to get banned. We never had that message.
Yeah, and this says that now.
It says it now,
Yeah,
but they didn't.
yeah.
But they didn't do the warning part, and I think they probably should have done the warning part. It is what it is. I don't listen. I am very happy with the result, but I think with hindsight being 2020, I can come here and say that it would have been a better idea to warn and then ban. But this is the warning and the ban at the same time, and you know what?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But I do get what people are kind of complaining about in this situation. We also have this. I do not know if this is a real image or not. So this is unconfirmed as real, but this has been going around.
Yeah, this has been spreading around, yeah.
So take this with what you will, but this is being spread around that for the length of the ban that some of these people are getting.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. I imagine then that they'll have probably policies in the back end going forward about doing this sort of stuff more often. So yeah, don't do exploits, guys. I did see like there was a bunch of people saying like even when it was happening like weeks ago, people saying like, oh, but we need to like do the exploit to show CIG that we're doing the exploit. And I don't know who it was, but one of the CIG employees responded with like, yeah, cool, you showed us. But after you dupe for like the 2000th time, like you're not showing us anything anymore.
Yeah, we're not gaining any additional information, which is again true, which is why I think the warning would have been better. Been like, hey guys, chill out. And then those people would have chilled out. Most likely. Most likely, right?
Yeah.
Some people just like to see the number go up. That was the way they were doing it. We will just very briefly discuss like Asmon chatting about some Star Citizen things. And one of the arguments that people were making was that it's very easy to make money in the game. Yes. When you dupe or you use incredibly broken mechanics in the game, right? Yes, it is. So
it's still easy to make money in the game regardless.
It is still easy to make money in game.
Right.
But again, you didn't see the video, so the way he described it was literally using the broken mechanics, right? So yes, of course. And the goal clearly from CIG is to make it more difficult. And this kind of stuff is completely going against that. So them taking action here, for me, I take it personally as a positive because they're treating the game more like a game.
Yep.
But is the game a game yet? That's the argument from other people. So I see it from all angles. I want them to treat the live experience as much as possible like a game. I think we would be enjoying the current live experience, or would have enjoyed the live experience for much longer if they dealt with this sooner. There's a lot of criticism about that as well. Of hey, they didn't do it fast enough. This was in the PTU for 3 weeks. What are you doing? There was lots of complaints around this. One thing that I also want to point out is this said exploits, not exploit. We knew publicly about one exploit. We don't know how many exploits were going on, how bad those exploits were, so on and so forth. So sometimes you need to leave it out there and let these people hang themselves. And I imagine that's what they were doing. I don't think they kind of came out publicly and said anything about that, but it seems pretty obvious that's one of the things they were doing, because you had Wikipedia, I think, mentioning exploits being fixed, and then all of a sudden changing his tone completely and saying, well, we can't talk about those things anymore. So it sounds like there was something that they were like, there was some figuring things out going on there, probably is the way I would phrase that. And It is what it is. That's the example of where you can be like, it's an alpha. Like, who cares? It's way better if they fix more dupes and let people ruin the game temporarily. The only thing is, I think most people think when 4.0 comes out, or even 323.2, there's going to be 37 other dupes that are going to ruin the game, and we're just going to keep going through this fucking cycle forever. But it is what it is. Hopefully not. One can hope that won't happen, right?
People will stop duping eventually. Don't worry, guys.
Well, I think less people will dupe this time around for sure.
Yeah.
But outside that, that's where we're at. Very briefly, I'm going to bring up the Alien Week page.
Yep. Yeah.
So
they're doing like a little.
It's a thing.
They're doing like a little competition where you can do a little puzzle. I have no idea how to do the puzzle. Someone just told me the answer, and I was like, "Well, all right." I kind of wanted to do the puzzle, whatever.
Oh, DM me the answer. I don't want to do the puzzle, but I want the thing. Because one thing I want to say is this thing, I think, is what you get for doing the puzzle, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So, guys, I have 2 of these left. You can't get these anymore, right? Yeah. You can't get these anymore, but you can only get these at Bar Citizens. Right?
Apparently this is also a Bar Citizen thing.
Exactly. So it's both. So you have a way to get it without having to go to the Bar Citizen, where the only way you can get it,
apparently you only get a
eBay
challenge
now.
coin. Apparently you only get a challenge coin from the puzzle.
No way! God, I thought they did something good for once. Never mind. I take it back. Never mind. I take it back. That sucks. End of story. Screw Alien Week. I hate CIG.
I will say I am disappointed we're not getting a new alien ship, but all of their like so many of their new ships seem to be straight to flyyables recently. Even when we looked at the monthly report last week, it was like 3 ships that were moving towards complete. So maybe they're just moving more in that direction.
What's that?
Isn't it those in the game?
No.
I don't remember what they're called. Are they not?
No.
Are they those weird strawberry things?
I've never seen weird strawberry things in the game before. Have you?
I think so.
I haven't.
Patambu fruit or something, I think is what they're called.
No, those are yellow.
No, those are the Medmons.
Patambu fruit is yellow as well.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's blue bilva up there.
Yeah.
These are probably some new pyro fruit.
Things.
I'm just talking about the red fruit, guys. Just the red. The blue's in game. So it might be a new pyro fruit. So just pointing that out as well. And I think the only other thing is if we explore the out of this world's offerings, there's just some new paints.
Yeah, which is like the bare minimum of what they'll do at an Alien Week.
And a hoodie. I don't remember if that hoodie was new that just popped in for a second. But these are some new paints that are old paints, but they're on some new ships. That's basically it, right?
Yep.
That's Alien
Which I think
Week.
they did the same thing last year, where they applied some old paints. Yeah.
Very much an afterthought this year, and I think last year as well, sort of. I think the Sulin came out last year, maybe.
It's probably just weird now, because it like, you have this massive event 3 weeks ago, and then Alien Week kind of gets tagged on a little bit later, because it doesn't make sense to have it during Invictus. And like... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like eventually they just need to start having, similar to how they have Defense Con, just have Alien Week during Invictus somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but yeah.
Xperia showcase or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Outside of that, Asmon talked about Star Citizen. A lot of people cared about that, kind of.
Yeah,
but
take me through this. I really don't want to watch the video, and I know that our viewers at home don't, because they all also definitely do dislike Asmongold like me.
Okay, tell me
Take
why
me through
you
how
dislike
this went.
Asmongold first.
I've told you so many times. He's just got all the bad takes. He has a blood wall where he sleeps, where he wipes his gums on the wall. Bro cannot be complaining about any type of DLC.
I don't think the way you live your life should make you decide how you feel about somebody's opinions or takes. I think it's two totally different things.
Oh no, they don't. But
But
it does make me think less of him as a person.
that's fine. And
Yeah.
yes, I understand that part. I will not argue that. Okay.
But yeah,
But
what's
all
the
he
deal?
did
Everyone's
was
going off about
notice
it.
that this exists. So
Okay.
he plays a lot of gotcha games and talks a lot about pay to win in games and the way games fund themselves and how it's a problem, right?
Hmm.
Looks at this and goes, "What the hell? This is insane." Because it is, right? There you go. That's like the what
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this? I just noticed that there's a concierge thing, like, and is just trying to figure it out and was just kind of asking people and it's like, what is
Mm.
this? This is crazy, right? Pretty simple. And then this dude pops in and says, essentially, like like the whales are real and that they've made
Yeah.
multiple purchases of this package. He's not one.
Hmm.
So this dude got up to concierge, spent 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And then talked a little bit about his feelings. He is very not happy with the game at this point. So he talked
Yeah.
pretty negatively about it. And then they talked to another guy a bit later. That other guy is literally the biggest hater on the planet for me. There is no bigger hater in the world than this guy that he talked to next. It's this dude, Sketch Therapy.
Yeah.
So anytime my name is mentioned in a Twitch chat that he's not banned in, he makes sure he lets everybody know how he feels about me. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So, but he is way more informed on the game, is in for like $60 and talks about how you can earn all the ships in game, things like that,
Yep.
right? Got a lot of both guys got a lot of things wrong.
Hmm.
This dude got a lot of things right, but also molded it in a way that makes Star Citizen look better than it did. Said that the 800 player test was a success in server meshing, things like that. So we just got a lot of things wrong, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And a lot of people got worked up with, oh, they didn't express Star Citizen in the right way. I could have said it better, and that's pretty much all
Mhm.
this was like I could have told Asmon better. Is basically what most of the community is dealing with, and why this is essentially just a conversation. The $48,000 package is literally a dead horse beaten. The
Yep.
reason it exists is because there are collectors, there are people who spend lots of money on the game, and they didn't want 40 million different items in their inventory. They
Yeah.
wanted one. So Star Citizen made one. That is really all it is. The price has gone
Mhm.
up because there's more things in the package. That's it.
Yep.
Nobody was able to express that to him. And then it got into all the funding and concierge and what kind of advantages do you get and so on
Mhm.
and so forth. Oh, Evocati members are big whales and that's the only reason they're in them. It was just goofy stuff that doesn't make any sense. So
Yep.
it is news. It is worth discussing because 20,000 people saw Star Citizen, sort of,
Yeah.
but also
Well,
got misinformed.
he's got a massive reach. Anytime someone with a massive reach starts to get into Star Citizen, it is important, regardless of what you think about the creator that
Yes.
we're talking about. It's important that we look at it because that is the impression that a lot of people will get about the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happened. It wasn't an ideal situation. Everybody thinks they could have
Mhm.
done it better, but you stand
Yep.
in front of 20,000 people and get it right. Every single
Yeah.
thing, get every single thing right. The two people who stood in front of the channel, as much as I don't like the second one, were very brave. I think the second guy
Mhm.
handled himself relatively well and was
Mhm.
pretty smart on most of the things. So I like as nasty as he is to me, I think he expressed the game in a reasonable way, and showed that you don't need a $48,000 pack. Like this isn't a gotcha game, right? And made that
Yep.
point pretty well, and that was that. So we're about half an
Yep.
hour in. If you want to go to callers, we can. Or did I miss anything? There might be. I feel like I didn't miss anything in terms
No,
of
those were all the major things. Do we want to do just one question for
if
for the show?
if there's more than one, we can definitely do more than one. We have time because having
Okay.
a caller go over 10 minutes, I think usually people lose their interest on it anyway. So yeah, we got time.
All right. Um, okay, let's go with this one. Do you think when we get resource management in its more fleshed out form, and sorry, this is from CalllMeTeach, who is actually in the waiting room, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, cool.
Um, that the amount of people playing the game might take a dip from all the deaths. Things like that make me concerned sometimes when they discuss how difficult they want to make the PU, and I want to know that even though it may be hard, that our community is strong enough not to give up. So essentially, yeah, will resource management, like, you know, difficulty lock people out of the game, I guess. And I don't think so. Firstly, at least in terms of deaths, they obviously like CIG do know that, you know, the respawn mechanics in Star Citizen have been a thorn in its side forever, because they just did the thing with all the medical changes, right? Giving everything back respawns. I doubt that resource management will do the same thing. Like, I doubt it'll increase deaths. If anything, I imagine it's going to decrease deaths because you're actually going to have your larger ships survive longer, right?
Yes, that's the point
Yeah.
I was going to make.
Yeah.
Is there's no way that the whole point is that ships don't just explode and you're just sitting there going, well, I guess I'll respawn. You know, like it's giving you a chance, and at least that's the intention, right? And my experiences in the demo on Arena Commander has been very much more along those routes, and that is the positive experience that I had. Is yes, my ship turned off and I started spinning, but when my ship was in an atmosphere, it hit the ground, it didn't explode. I had another opportunity to survive, and sometimes we defended and sometimes we didn't, right? And uniquely, the whole A, or not the whole A, the A2 is is really, it's really hard to board, and it is a very defendable ship, right? So that gives you the, even if you're not that great at FPS, just point your gun at the elevator and just start shooting, you know, and you have a chance. So I don't think it'll cause more deaths. I think the point of it is to cause less. It is to cause you to be left out to dry, but hopefully not die. I think one of the other things that CIG wants to do with this whole Death of a Spaceman thing is like, I think this is an Eve thing as well, so please correct me. Like when you kill somebody's pod, it's a bigger penalty than blowing up their ship or damaging their ship to the point of like disrepair. Yeah. So that's that.
Which I've once again, I have no idea what they're going to end up doing with all that sort of stuff. But at least how the question is based is just like, when, you know, these mechanics come out, which is soon, is it going to make it worse? I don't think at all. I think it's going to make it much better. I think we're going to have a lot less deaths. You're just going to have to do more things during downtime, finally, which is always nice. To make sure you are in those survivable situations. Not to mention, as well, people will still be in single seaters and stuff like that. And the only thing really there that's impacting a lot of like deaths is just master modes itself and balancing. So if that happens, that is where you look to blame that stuff rather than resource management.
But even then, those ships should explode less, and then the option to like get out and go to EVA should happen more often. Fingers crossed. Do you want to take one more, and then we'll go to callers?
Yeah. Let's go to from the Simp Zone.
Okay.
Been a while since I played, so correct me if I'm wrong. You're wrong. But if you try and fly a ship out of a larger ship while the larger ship is moving, isn't it a bit scuffed? Example, trying to fly the Pisces out of the Carrack while the Carrack is traveling forwards. You're likely to clip the back of the Carrack and have a collision.
Yes.
Is there any information discussion about how this might be resolved going forwards? Some suggestions, just don't do it. Or if you leave a ship, you switch to a frame relative to the ship you just exited. It is incredibly scuffed at the moment because ships have, other than like the gravity, what are they called? The force reactions. Other than force reactions, ships have their own atmosphere, their own gravity, their own physics, essentially. Like theoretically, you could go like 1,000 meters a second inside the ship and then come out of the ship, and it would drop you that speed, if that makes sense. Like, you wouldn't be 2,000 meters a second. Like, the real physics doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't think they've talked about that.
I don't think they've discussed it very much, but it can be a whole slew of factors. Desync, and all sorts of
Yep.
things, right? That it I don't think they've discussed like a possible solution for it, but the idea of any of these things existing, it seems like it's a far away thing from working, but it does seem like it
Yep.
will become a priority of theirs at some point. Whether they get it right or not, I can't tell you. Whether it'll work perfectly or not, can't tell you. It's one of those things where Star Citizen keeps trying to push the boundaries of things that matter less than
hmm
stuff like this, but it affects these things negatively, like the scale of the
Yep.
universe, the size of the planets, and all those things. All those things are great. All those things are cool. But for what the players are going to interact with, this, in my opinion, is significantly more important to be able to fly in and out of a ship while it's moving, right?
Yeah,
But
which is super relevant right now as people are trying to board the Idris, right?
yeah,
Like
impossible.
while it's moving.
Not
Yeah.
impossible,
So
but very, very difficult.
yeah, and at the very least, super jarring and just very awkward and like
Yes.
not how you would expect. Like it's how I would expect a game to work, but it's not how I would expect to feel when I'm doing it. You know, when I'm trying to do things like that, I would expect my ship to just continue going the direction it was going and
Yep.
whatnot relative to the ship.
I
But
would
yeah, those stuff just aren't in there.
I would absolutely accept a if it doesn't work manually, I would absolutely accept a when you get close enough, you press a button, it auto lands you, the
hmm
server figures it out, and you just see an animation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whether you're going in and out at like whatever, don't care.
hmm
Like if I have to take off from the Idris and it's a animation thing and then I just appear outside, if that's what it takes, that's what it
hmm
takes. At some point CIG has to make concessions, and
Yep.
that's where that is. Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
up to you. We can go to some callers.
Yeah, let's get some callers. Good old speed run. A reminder, guys, if you do want to join in as a caller, whether it's this week or whenever, make sure you go to discord.gg/ YUVD2SGWEY. It is
Link
in the
in the
description.
description, exclamation point
Yeah, it's in the
podcast
description.
on
It's in
Twitch.
Twitch, all that stuff. Yeah, awesome. All right, Riley, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good this week.
Doing good this week.
Uh,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Let's
no, I
go.
was awful last week. Fuck it, Star Citizen, am I right? On the
What would you
question
like to
with
talk about?
resource management, real
Yep.
quick, I do think it's a good thing. Like you said, I don't think
Mhm.
it'll ever add. Well, it can add difficulty, but I don't know if it'll ever cap people out of it.
Yeah.
Because the problem right now is, let's say if the Javelin were added in, if it's not in the resource network and it's just killing it, what do the FPS guys have to do in the game? Like, you do
Yeah.
need the boarding to be a thing, or
Yeah.
else it's just feels like a dead end.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it'd be a disappointing sort of like it'd be a missed connection for it to not be there, you know?
It's
It's
what
like
makes
this would
Star
be a cool
Citizen
thing that you can do,
great.
just do it. Exactly.
You leave the ship.
Yeah.
It's what separates it from all the other space games. Like that
Mhm.
interaction of like I was in this and then I boarded and now I'm out of it and now I was shooting ship weapons, now I'm shooting FPS weapons and I'm looting bodies now. Like it's just there's so much more going on possibly,
Mhm.
if all this works perfectly. It just like my experiences again in that engineering mode were like, whoa, if this
Mhm.
happens, this game's gonna be sick, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But onto the first part
Mhm.
where you guys were talking about Xenothreat and having fun in Xenothreat and having those like the issues that are coming with Xenothreat and all of like
Mhm.
the bugs that come with it. I mean, I'm a bit special on this with the experience that I've had with Xenothreat, mostly because I fucking barely touched it, and the only part I was seeing from it was from Virgil
Okay.
and what they did. I think it was Saturday or the day before.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, they ganked Ram, and which kind
Yep.
of leads me a little bit into the flight model. Between
Okay.
this flight model and the live flight model, it's
Mhm.
definitely just better. Like, I don't think I understand where some people are hating master modes,
Mhm.
but after watching the team fights that have been happening recently, it's no longer 3 hours long of hitting people, they run away, hitting people, they run away, hitting people, they run away.
Yeah.
Like the fight was over in 3.5 minutes, pretty much,
That's not
because
good
they were
either.
just the better team.
That-
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
that's not good. But
it's because of the Hornet.
yeah, and that's fine. It is what it is. Whatever, right? But
Yep.
what is good is that there is a resolution to the fight. I don't care who won.
Yeah.
I don't like to get involved in these like these Eve-brained like org things where they just get. I think they take it a little too far, in my opinion. But but what I do like is that there's finally a resolution to these things, because like you said,
Yeah.
in any other PvP encounter that I've seen on YouTube or Twitch, both teams said they won because there's no way to figure out who did, because they just fight for 30 hours and they're constantly running away and coming back, and it was just a bad experience. So
Yeah, it's like if you die, it's like, okay, well, I'll just respawn, and 30 minutes from now they'll still be fighting, so it doesn't matter.
exactly.
But the time to kill, yeah. I'm not sure if it's because Omnis are too strong, if it's because the Hornet has too many guns for what it is,
Mhm.
It's all
or
of the
like
above.
if it's a ton of other issues.
It's all
Yeah.
of the above.
I mean-
all of the above. First implementation rushed. Like there's a million things. It's just a matter of fix it. And the thing is we're not going to get it fixed, because it sounds like a lot of the members of those teams are now dedicated to resource management, which maybe will help fix that kind of stuff in the future. But we are in this stage of we have to eat shit in order to get to the ice cream or whatever. Like it's just not everything is going to be good, and we're going to eat a trail of shit for months and maybe longer than that to get to the whatever the promised land might look like. And the problem is a lot of people have been eating it for 13 years and they're tired. And I get it,
No.
I get it.
Man, I wonder who those people are.
One of them sitting right here, man. I just don't. That's why I don't play. I don't want to eat. I'm tired of eating shit, man. That's it.
But prepare me another scoop.
As long as that scoop is like mining or cargo hauling, I'll eat it, I guess. Different flavors of shit.
Yeah.
Like, man, I fucking hate this game, but I can't wait for that cargo refractory update.
Yeah. It's just a different flavor,
that's like
man.
half the backers.
That's it.
I will say I was very happy when is it Yogi? Yeah, Yogi. Was like, I am happy with how it went, but I'm also not happy with how it went, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like that big post and stuff, being like, look, for what we tried to do, cool. This is not exactly what we're trying to do, and we're continuing along,
Yep. It's just
Um,
feet to the fire.
yeah.
Fix the problems.
Yep.
If it's so good and it's such a good foundation, fix them, and fix them faster than you fixed them ever before.
Yep.
That's where we need to be with them. It doesn't need to be fixed today in 323.1a, but one thing, the Hornet fix was not coming into 323.1a. They held their feet to the fire, and guess what happened? It came in 323.1a. So again, good with the bad. We got to take the good with the bad, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, people were so tilted. Like a lot of the PvP community was really tilted when they thought it was going to come out later.
Yep.
So thank God it came out with 0.1a, because if it had come out with 0.2 in like 2 weeks, it's another 2 weeks of being unable to play PvP like actually at all.
Yeah,
because it was ridiculous.
I don't know. I jump back into Arena Commander. I'm still getting shit on by Hornets, so I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, I'm never going to be good.
Yeah, it's still good. It's just like it's just not literally like bugged anymore, right? That's essentially the difference.
Yep.
Yeah, and like Yogi, great guy. He made I'm hesitant to talk about him because of the Spectrum post someone made, who just took Yogi out of context from the Shadow Moses Discord.
Citizens taking people out of context? Never.
No,
that never happens.
Yeah.
But like he was talking about master modes, and they just took him out of context. It's like, look at this dev who has no idea how anything works, and it's like, this is exactly why he doesn't come on Spectrum that much, is because you people do this to him, and it's like you wonder why the devs barely talk to you on Spectrum, but
or they over the years have talked less, right?
Yeah. Like they still talk on there, but they definitely don't talk like they used to like 7 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
But one of the comments he made that I disagree with was that he thinks time to kill is too slow. and I'm not sure what game he's playing because time to kill right now is sub 10 seconds if it's guns
Yeah, it's real
on.
fast.
Yeah, it's real fast. I hate it.
But yeah, and that's Hornet to Hornet. God forbid you do Hornet to Gladius. I'm pretty sure it's about 4 shots of an Omni.
How about
if not
Buccaneer,
5.
man? Before I even know I'm getting hit, I'm dead.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
on duping, it
And
still
wrap it up
exists.
after this one, by the way, because we got to get to other
Yeah,
callers.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all good. Duping does exist still. It was fixed the easiest way, but there are still a few ways to do it. I'm not going to mention them now because I don't want people to do it. But I will.
Yep.
I've forwarded it to CIG already, and that hopefully gets fixed. But
Yeah.
the people that did dupe the people that got banned did it excessively because I can't tell you.
Everybody duped because it
Yeah.
was impossible to avoid in some cases, and it was easier to dupe to get out of the situation that I couldn't run cargo anymore. Everybody duped. 600 people got banned.
Yep.
Those were the people who took it too far, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
I
did.
know people who did it like 60 million UEC and they didn't get banned. The people that got banned
Oh, wow.
are like, we
Or in
did
the
it for
billions,
5
trillions.
billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was an insane amount. And I think so the warning, I understand people were like, well, why isn't there warning? This is their warning. If you duped like multiple billions of UEC, you're just stupid.
Yep.
Like there's no reason you should have been doing that.
Yep. Yeah,
But,
no,
yeah.
100%. I do have to just we'll finish up in a sec, but I just keep seeing this in different chats all the time. Banned and suspend mean the same thing. You can be banned for 3 months. That's how definitions of words work, my friends.
I've never seen him angry. Let's go. Keep getting mad about it in chat. I'm loving this. It exists. We can make him mad, guys. We can make him mad.
Let's go, chat.
Yes,
We're doing it.
We did
Finally.
God damn. Anyway.
He's just like me now. Oh my god.
I didn't think we could break him, but we found a way. I thought he was the unbreakable.
We're gonna have to break out the thesaurus for next stream. That's the real way to get it.
Yep. But all right, Riley, we'll let you go. Thank you so much. We definitely got to get to at least 2 more.
One thing real quick. The Ironclad Q&A. You probably forgot about that.
Oh, we did forget about that. All right, we might touch on that quickly after the call.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna leave after that. Just
Thank you, Riley.
You guys. All right,
Thank
you. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, I actually really do. I knew I missed something. Yep.
Yep.
All right, bro.
He's back.
All right, he hopped out. So yeah, there was an Ironclad Q&A.
Yep, I was wrong.
You were wrong, but I ended up still going with the base, I think, because
really,
you're not entirely wrong. There was no
tractor beams.
Tractor beams.
Yeah.
And then it also
it'll
sounds
still be like
that special
harder.
room that you put like hidden cargo kind of thing was not there. So it was like if I'm a cargo hauler, that's what I got to go with. So
yeah.
Rather cool.
I was genuinely surprised by that. I fully just every time I looked at that page, I was like, it is so clear to me that it does not have it because this says I think it's like when it has the technical specs and it's the picture. It's like this says open door cargo bay. This one just says cargo bay. And I was certain that I was going to be right, but I was wrong. And I'm wrong about everything today, so I'm sad.
No, you're not.
Just ask the YouTube comments in 2 days, Mike. All right. Caller?
They're all just going to say suspended, not banned. That's what all the YouTube comments are going to say. But all right. CalllMeTeach. Hello.
Teach, how you doing?
Can you hear us?
I can.
Howdy. How you going? What would you like to talk about today?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry. 0707, everybody.
Hello.
I guess, the first thing, Xeno, because, that's going on right now. At this point, I'm kind of on the theory of CIG kind of making this special event like the whole dragging a horse to water analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So they just keep wanting us to drink the water and do this event, and as much as it's a good event and as much as people want to have that engagement, it just continues not to work. The
Yeah.
server isn't capable of handling everything that they want to throw into it, and it just keeps causing so much mess. And it just, we're the horses, and we don't want to drink the water yet.
The thing that bothers
I will-
me is that it affects people that aren't involved in the event as well.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about it a little bit, is that like people who are just like out doing whatever, like not wanting to get involved with it, they're affected by these events as well, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say I'm not discounting Xenothreat yet because I've only had the one bad experience so far, and like once again, the start of the experience, like the cargo phase, was just so much better than it's ever been for me that I was really excited. But yeah, if those issues persist, then it's you're 100% right. It's just going to be annoying. No one's going to want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, 3.23.1 alpha as a whole has been one of the first patches in a while that I've had over 30 FPS, period, no matter where I go. Like,
Except
that's a big thing. Yeah, and the moment that they drop it, the moment it goes in, it's like 15, maybe 20 FPS. And I'm like...
I had 5 yesterday.
Yeah, going into it, like when you're over there by the station and everybody and their brother, ooh, it's so bad. But yeah, no, I guess, let's see, cargo update. I'm kind of with Mike too. I was bored these past couple patches. I didn't have a reason to hop in.
But are you bored because you know there's something that you're more excited for? That's my situation, right? Like, the game's always been boring for me for the most part, but I'm so excited for something, and it's like...
I'm bored because I'm hopeful.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm looking to the future, man.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I've backed for 5 years, but I've been playing for 3, so I'm not super far into it like everybody else. I'm not a
5
whale
years is a long
as much
time,
as everybody
my
else,
friend.
but like,
Yeah, you're in it for about the same amount of time I've been. Yeah.
It's a good amount. I feel like I've gotten my foot in.
You survived 318. You're a veteran now. That's how it works.
There's this feeling that the community creates. Like, if you weren't here when CIG did this, you don't count. Like, your opinions don't matter. That's not the case. Everybody that has backed, including somebody who backed yesterday, has gone through some shit. It doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe in that thought process.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, so I guess the next thing would be like the whole duper debate and the way that they handled it.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Yep.
I'm cool with them making that decision. I'm also in agreement that they should have given a little bit more of a heads up, personally, just because that is kind of sketch, but I don't know. I feel like
just to fight that quickly, as in, like, because I've heard it be said that apparently one of the reasons why they didn't do like a proper warning like that, because it was already too late, like people were already doing it. If they had done the warning like the day of, it probably was fine. Was that they would have just ended up like, you know, you send out your UEC to like 5 different people, and then you can still end up doing your RMT that way, and it's going to be much harder for CIG to then be able to counter those people and issue those bans, which I think is a reasonable answer. But I think the better reasonable answer is literal first day when you find out the duping is the thing, you do the warning.
And guess what?
I mean,
it was found out in the PTU. So like, again,
same.
like we still have to hammer that home that they absolutely screwed up. And to be honest, we didn't mention that today. We have mentioned it on previous podcasts. There's no denying that they put the ship sail ahead of everything else, and the players got burned for it again. And it's fucked up, and it is what
Market
it is.
had the reins.
Yeah, and I'm so sick and tired of it. They would have made more money if they waited, but they didn't, because people would have enjoyed the game more. It's just,
somebody's pockets started itching. That's all it boiled down to. But neither here nor there. Alien Week, buzzkill overall.
It kind of is every week. Yeah, it kind of is every year, unless there's a new ship, you know, and it's usually a little bit disappointing.
I was hoping for the Fury XL. You know, the
thing
big
they showed at
fighter that
Citizen
they
Con.
Yeah, yeah.
showcased. Yeah, they were hoping to.
You know,
I
that's
don't
one of the
know.
only ships that they silhouetted at Citizen Con that we don't have yet.
That
Or
we
know about.
honestly have not
Yeah.
a single clue about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hopeful that they would have at least shown something, but then nada. The paints, yeah, okay, cool. You threw it to all the other alien variants now. It's awesome.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Gave it that spread out, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. Give me a little bit more. Give me something that is going to make me more enticed to be involved with Alien Week instead of just throwing it out there a couple weeks after Invictus. You know?
They could. There is a world where they could make it an in-game event, just like Invictus and IAE. But then imagine the like messy patches of trying to get that ready within the 3-week time, like the 3-week window or whatever. Which is why I
Yeah.
say I feel like they should just make it a part of Invictus. Although, actually, what I will do, I'm going to take that back. Maybe I'm going to go look at the funding stats in a couple days' time and see just how much Alien Week does generate, because maybe that's why they don't. Maybe that little bit of difference between when you've last spent money matters for them. But I don't know. I feel like people always want alien ships.
I think the only part that's really going to make the
They're so
most sense to
expensive,
me is if they decide to do it in a different system. Like not in Stanton. Like if we have to go somewhere
in
else.
an alien system. Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be dope as hell.
That would give me more enticement. That would make me feel like I would want to go and see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it eventually. They definitely like the idea of in-game events. Technically, Invictus and IAE are dynamic events. At least they called them dynamic events like 3 years ago, and I've been holding
they're
on to that
supposed
like
to
one
be.
piece.
Weren't we supposed
So
to do
yeah, they
like
can do
cargo
more.
missions and stuff too, like delivering supplies to set up for the event and all that?
Yeah,
Like,
so the Invictus, I want to say 3 years ago, we had the first introduction of the like the audio technical equipment and the fireworks, and I think like confetti or something like that.
And they were insane trade
trading.
runs too.
Yeah, but in the first year, it worked, and it was like okay because it was also like crazy risky to do them because it was like super super high investment for like a good return money wise, but percentage wise terrible.
Yeah, you risked
was
17,
fun, though,
20
too.
million, something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, but to make 200K in 15 minutes, and that's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
They then did it the following year, and that's when it was bugged, and people were buying audio visual equipment for like a completely wrong amount and selling it for way higher or something like that. And then they just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
They haven't
Yeah,
done
it
it
was
for the
bugged
last
because I
2
think they
years.
were dropping it off somewhere else, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the wrong because you were just supposed to drop it at the locations that the like Javelin was heading to.
Yeah.
100% return. Yeah, that's too much.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
then they never brought that back. That was a really cool thing that I think they did for Invictus, and it'd be great to see them do that more for, well, yeah, Invictus, IAE.
Yeah.
Hell, do it for Alien Week. It's Alien Week. All of these weird exotic materials are like worth more. Do that now. That'd be cool. And that would
Asperia needs you to
get people into
supply Alien Week with a set of their weapons so then they can
Yeah.
display them.
Yep. Not
yeah,
hard.
exactly. It'd be dope as hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not hard. I think they're working their way towards it. I think it's another one of those situations where they're like, we didn't want to develop this because we have future tech that's going to blah, 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 blah. We wait 10 years for actual content, but here we are.
Yeah.
We are getting to that, hopefully. So the excuse board is getting smaller and smaller, and they're going to have to make content at some point. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hopefully
they're
this
really
this
trimming off
cargo
the
thing
edges.
is big. But CalllMeTeach, I got to be a dick. I got to let you go. I got the text. My family's at the house. So I'm going to go one more caller. We're going to be quick with them, and I apologize. Happy Space Dad's Day.
Yeah, no,
And
it's been fun. Awesome.
And thank you for the question for the show as well. That was good.
Exactly. Yeah,
Cheers.
you kind of got double, so I don't feel super bad letting you go a little bit earlier. But hopefully we'll be able to talk to you a bit more next time, bro.
Hopefully.
Yeah, have a good one, everybody.
Bye now. Our last caller will be Gamers Cafe, and Gamers, I do apologize, but we got to keep it kind of short, okay?
Yep.
I'm sorry. Are you there?
He's not in the room.
What? Where'd he go?
Now he is. Hello, Gamers Cafe. How you doing?
Not bad. So
That was weird.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. Croncy, I think you're wrong on the ban versus suspension. So
No, oh no, no! I'm going to fight you on this
No,
immediately.
I'm going to fight it too. The word permaban exists.
Yeah. Video games, card games. Like I've worked in tournaments like my entire life. They use bans as a temporary thing. It exists. It is a common practice. You are all wrong.
no, look, yeah, you emu boy, listen. The term suspended and banned is often used interchangeable, but they have distinct meanings. Here's the breakdown. Suspended is a temporary restriction on a user's account and usually due to specific violations or infractions, where a ban is a permanent restriction on a user's account, usually due to severe or repeated violations
All
or
right,
infractions.
Chat GPT.
The word ban means officially or legally prohibit something. Come at me, my friend.
It's fine,
Anyway, what else would you like to talk about today?
So, obviously, we're all just, obviously I'm just stirring Croncy, guys.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's Aussie humor. But obviously, we're all waiting for cargo. But I will say, I am so thankful.
Somebody in chat just said ban him. Let's see what
Suspend
happens.
or ban? Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna find out what it means in a second if you keep it up. No, just kidding.
Come at me, bro. But what I was going to say was, obviously we're all waiting for cargo. But I will say, I am glad that they went through and they actually did suspend, ban, whatever the players, because I was so worried they were going to do a wipe because of all the duping that was going on. I actually pulled back on some of the gameplay because I was like, if I'm going to make all this money and then lose it because they wipe, and I'm so glad they didn't do that.
The one thing I didn't like is I don't think they pulled back enough money from the economy.
Yeah, I would say they probably could have gone a little harder on it, to be honest. I probably would have, Like, there were people, like, there was one streamer I was watching, and he was given $3 million by one person, and, like, people were just offering him millions of dollars. And let's face it, we all know that's money from dupe.
Yeah.
There's no way people are sat there with a prospector or a salvage or a vulture literally sitting there making $3 million to just give out like rain. It's
3 million probably, but like when you get into like the like 50s and the hundreds, that's when it's duping.
Considering the amount of people that were offering it, that's what my sort of like. That's where I'm starting. Hang on, this has to be because like if it's just one person, I'm like, this guy doesn't have a life and he's just playing the game. But like when 5 or 10 people were offering it, I was like, okay, this is all dupe money, money they've brought from eBay. Here's a question for you, though, guys. Can I just stop you
for 1 second? Because somebody in chat said, "What? I lost 90 million in chips and didn't dupe once." You did not make 90 million without duping. In
not
that
just
short
that
period of time.
Well, once with a reclaimer, but yeah.
So
I'm calling doubt on the 90 million
and those are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Maybe you did make that much because there are some like ERTs and stuff where you could make a lot of money. But
and was that money also given to him? And if it was given to him, was it given to him by someone who was duping that might not have told him? If you want to be really, really charitable.
Yeah, I'll take it back. It's possible. It's possible that you made that much. But the ships disappearing are two totally different things.
Yeah.
They didn't take those away because they thought it was duped.
Here's a question for you. Should they hold off on public events or these sort of events like Xenothreat until we get server meshing put into a decent state?
They should have never been doing them.
Yeah. Because I'm like looking at all these I haven't had a chance to test Xenothreat. I've literally just come off working 24 hours in 2 days.
And I mean Xenothreat. I think events like Jumptown, where it's like, hey, go here, are way more successful in terms of like just game than these. Like have you ever played Xenothreat and it worked to a T the way it should? Nobody has. I really don't believe. The only people that had are the people that they did that YouTube video with, which by the way I think is super awesome. That instead of faking all the content, they took quote unquote real content where they definitely took these guys into a server by themselves and so on and so forth. They did not get the experience that all of us will have. So there's some criticisms to be had there. But I do like it that was a real commercial, as real as can be, leading up to the event.
I'll say that I do think it is still a net positive to run the event, and the event right now, once again, with the experience that I've had it with, which was 5 hours, and I rage quit at the end, I still think is a net positive at the moment. but genuinely ask me the question in a week's time. It's just too early for me to decide at the moment.
Look, I suppose there's some performances that have been done that would probably benefit us in the future. You know, you could probably make that argument. You know, at the end of the day, if you can get it running semi-okay on servers that are literally running at 5 or 10 FPS, then imagine what they'll be running at on 30, sure.
Yeah.
But I just, like, especially it's getting to the point now where Star Citizen is getting a lot of eyes looking at it. You know, you got Asmongold who's not only reacted to this 48,000, but he also reacted to the Star Engine and also the Squadron 42 gameplay. And he did say he was actually interested in playing it. He's generally been pretty positive about the game. You've got Dr. Disrespect, who also responded to the Star Engine trailer and the Squadron 42 trailer. You've got, I believe XQC has probably also done it. I'd have to check that one.
He's played before.
But a lot of these, and then you had Summit obviously playing for a bit there. You know, like you get
there's a lot of people who are definitely fans of this game as well. That like massive creators and stuff who are fans of the game because I've talked to them who just don't want to make content for it yet. Because like,
they're waiting for it to be in it. Yeah, there's a guy I used to work with who literally is waiting for Squadron 42 to come out, and he said to me that he hasn't brought the game, he hasn't brought an account, and he's like, literally, as soon as it drops, let me know, because I will literally be buying it that day and calling in sick for work for the next week. And it was funny because I was his boss. But, you know, like I said, at that point, I was. But what I was going to say, that there are people that are waiting for it to hit that peak state before they can actually go through and actually do play it. So, yeah. But I suppose I get sick of kind of people using IGN and Kotaku articles to sort of try and make the argument against Star Citizen when we know they're full of it. And it's sort of like, I'm just like, I don't know. I guess
it's annoying because like we know the actual problems. because we've been ingrained in the project so much, and there are for sure actual problems, and they are very annoying. That it's like when people like misconstrue something that like either isn't really a problem or it is like an actual blowout. It's like, what the hell? Why are you complaining about this? You don't get it, and it's. That happens in every game, regardless of what it is. So I think we're just experiencing that for one of the first times now that people are, looking at the game.
So I won't mention the stream or anything, obviously, Mike, but there's another stream where they were talking about Star Citizen a couple of weeks ago, last week or the week before. And one of the people on there were making claims saying that Star Citizen has slowed over the past 5 to 10 years. And it's just
literally the opposite.
Yeah,
it's just like
an opinion.
Dude, I'm debating this guy on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm just going to show him the graph and be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. But I don't know. I guess that's where I want to leave it. But I don't know. I guess we're all just waiting for cargo and
yeah, we want to see that patch.
It may not even be good, but it's just something to look forward to. We'll see. I don't expect it to be that great.
Even just the ability to start putting stuff in your hangar and leaving stuff around, and you know, like I've got all these different armors and stuff that I've collected from dead pirates and stuff. You know, if I can just set them up on a mannequin or something basic, just something like that, just to make it a little bit more homey, I suppose. But
for sure.
You know, maybe kidnap a copium and
copium. Yes, I am definitely going to be infesting my entire hangar with copiums, and then forget that I did that and walk in and die. Awesome. Well, we'll probably leave you there, GamersCafe, because Mike's got to head off early today. So thank you very much for your call.
To all the Americans.
Happy Space Dad Day.
Hell yeah.
That's nice.
Cheers, mate.
Later. All right, that was the show. Yeah, I'm getting yelled at by the cat. I'm getting texts. It's it's gonna be one of those days where I'm gonna have to rush out of here. But yeah, I think we had a bit of an interesting week. I think we handled the show really nicely today. I think it went really smooth. You know, I think sometimes we do go a bit long, and that's okay. I love the show, but this was great as well. So leave comments down below and let us know your preference, because we're always figuring out what we like, what we don't. And let us know if you think we get cargo next week. Is it going to
Yes.
happen? I
It's
really hope so.
3 weeks ago, then when they said maybe Evo Cardi like on the weekend. So it's we'll see what's going on. Next week we will hopefully still have a show, but Mike will not be here.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So I will package up everything for you, and he's considering doing the show solo.
Yep.
So it'll be over on Croncy's Twitch channel. It'll still be on the same YouTube channel.
It'll definitely at least be on YouTube because I've got that good old Australian internet. It may just be on YouTube, but we'll.
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
Hey, whatever. So we'll keep you posted on all that, and I'm gonna like package everything because I have it all in a folder here. And he doesn't have it on his OBS yet, but it's kind of good that this happened, so we have the opportunity. Like, what if my internet goes out? Croncy can just take over. So it's something we need to do anyway.
And if the cargo updates happens this week, there will 100% be an episode next week, even if I can't get a co-host. I will just yell about the Evo experience the entire time. So
message Red or something. Maybe that'll be a good guest. I don't know who else is like a big cargo guy that we have contact with. But we could try.
If you're a big cargo guy and you want to have contact with us,
hit up Croncy. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because my dad's coming from New Jersey, so I have to go pick him up from the airport and everything. So I just won't be here. It's just bad timing.
Yep. The only other thing I want to say is just that the pod's been doing really sick. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Like on the live streams, it's been insane. On YouTube, it's been insane. But it could be more insane, guys. Come on, let's you chuck them on repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But also genuinely, please sub. We had so many subs last week. I think Answer the Call now beats my YouTube channel, which is now going to be a competition for me to take it back.
There you go.
To try to
every week we'll have an update.
Try to get back in front. And then of course, Happy Father's Day to all of you who aren't here in Australia. I hope you guys have a good weekend.
And where's yours? Don't forget. I was waiting for it. Don't forget to answer the call.